It's episode 11 of the next 40. And I'm out and about at the Glen Stone Museum in Potomac, Maryland, at some of the outdoor exhibits. I mention that for no reason and no reason at all, other than to say that this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm outside. But episode 11 is about what I deem as my own red flags, the things about my own character that I recognize might be a bit standoffish. It's really just one thing broken down into three parts, but that's what I'm going to talk about in episode 11 of the next 40. Hope you like it. Hope you comment, give me some feedback, and tell me what you think of my red flags and how you just might deal with that or not deal with it at all. All feedback is warranted, and I look forward to it, so please fill me in. Welcome to the next 40. I've seen this. I've seen this trend on social medias where people list what are their red flags. I can't recall off the top of my head any of the red flags, but I've seen it time and time again. Nothing major, something to do. And I've said, all right, I'll play along too. My red flag. I am absolutely critical. I am pretty gosh darn critical. I am critical of myself, and I am critical of my partner, my romantic partner, and as well as if I'm partnering with someone on a project, an assignment, a brand, whatever. I'm critical. The thing is, I've learned to give grace with everybody at different levels, except myself. Don't have the grace for myself. I'm not hard on myself for not doing what I set out to do. But once I start, I am looking to gauge and or grade it at a level above where I believe I'm at. So the work, the efficiency, the follow through, the thought, all of it is greater than where I know I'm at. So kind of hard on myself. In romantic relationships, in the beginning, not critical at all. But once I feel a connection or a bond and we've gone through some things, good, bad, and different, we've had the time invested, and I consider you when I make decisions. I'm hoping that you consider me when you're making decisions. And if it's not known to me that you're thinking about me in regards to what we're doing, I'm making you aware that, hey, this is important to me. Why isn't X, Y, and Z happening? But the thing is, I try to balance and tepid how I approach that because it's only going to harm what we have going on if I'm often slinging and flinging criticism at my partner about what's going on or not going on for us. So I'm absolutely critical there. And in partnering with someone I'm working with or doing a project with, criticism starts in the beginning. But once I see that the ethic behind what they're doing or the follow through is either non-existent or doesn't stand up to what you have going on, I'm hands off. And I'm watching how this person operates. And then I try to fit my criticism in that space. Or I just leave it all together and handle what I'm supposed to handle or handle it all together. because it's my name on it too. So at the very least, we're going to get a 75 out of this because I'm not going to let us fail. So ultimately, my red flags is that I'm critical. I'm particularly critical on myself. Not to the point where I'll cripple myself and what I want to do, but like most things and most people, maybe not most, like most things and a lot of people, I tend to hold myself to a standard and I want to perform at that level. Every time up, I want to make sure I do what I'm supposed to do. And sometimes I don't always give myself the space to not get it right. And in turn, I quit or I avoid and don't try because I'm not 100% certain of who I am and what I am doing. So I give up. I could tend to be better to myself in terms of me being critical about myself. Because if I take myself away from it and I'm the man from Mars, I know like I'm not perfect and I'm not going to be perfect. And I don't expect anything reasonably to be perfect or go exactly the way that you intended it to. But I am definitely harder on myself than I am on other people. And I can learn to give myself some space to fuck up, make mistakes, not be fantastic at it, take criticism for it. That's something I definitely don't do. I don't take criticism, opinion, feedback. I don't receive that well at all. I absolutely should take a moment to breathe. It's never that serious. I know it's not that serious. It doesn't have to be that serious, but a lot of times I feel like it is, especially when dealing with me, how it impacts me, what I set forth, what I have to say, how I present this story. I'm critical about that. I work to be better and do better, be better than I was the day before. Just working in the direction of doing something that is showing integrity for being a whole human being. And sometimes I need to lighten up when I'm dealing with myself. When it comes to terms of romance and how critical I am, it could very well be detrimental to the relationship. I've been very hard at times on my partner because, like, the big thing is you want to be heard, you want to be recognized, you want to be seen, and that doesn't always happen. So you want to say something about it so that you're not forgotten. At least that's the way you feel about it. Being critical in terms of my romantic partner is primarily about feeling, feeling like I'm being forgotten. We're all adults trying to soothe our inner child. My guess is my inner child has felt forgotten. And if you're my person, I want to make sure that you know that I want you to pay attention to me. So I try to make my partner aware of what's important to me. Maybe I don't go about it in the smoothest of ways. Maybe I could tend to back off a bit. I kind of get hyper vigilant about making sure I'm heard and I'm seen. It doesn't happen like right away and immediately, but it absolutely happens. It's usually a series of events where I feel ignored, disregarded, forgotten about. And then that one last event happens and I throw it all out there. And here I go, hypercritical about how wrong I feel like it's happening to me. You're not receiving me. That's wrong. And that behavior has absolutely ended some of my romantic relationships, for better and for worse. It happened. It's my fault. I did it. I own it. I'm working on a balance. I'm working on being more balanced about it and finding better ways to say what I need to say because it's important. And I don't want to go unheard, unseen, unappreciated. Lastly, I'm judgmental and critical of my creative partners, particularly if I don't have any history with them in working on projects, themes, coordination, anything. If we're new to this, I'm judging you off rip simply because I don't know who you are. I don't know how you operate. I don't know how you work. I can't just give it up like, all right, we're going to do this. Because everybody can be an ideas person. Somebody's got to do the work. And then considering we all work at different levels and different efforts towards that work and different efficiencies around all of that, whatever you sell me, I'm not believing off rip because I love myself and I know better than that. So I am very critical of who you are. And then if it doesn't work, wipe my hands of it. If we must continue to work together, then I'm going to do the part that I need to do to make sure that it's efficient and tight so that we get the credit we deserve. And by we, I mean me. And I wasn't always like this because as a kid, I was probably the kid that didn't do the work in the project. I was not the team player. But as an adult, in the beginning, I'm critical of you. And along the way, I'm critical of you. It's just the way it works. This one, out of all the other judgments, I won't lighten up on. This is the one. It's just like, no, you have no investment in me. You have only investment in yourself. So if you don't take care of yourself, I don't feel like you're going to take care of me. And we've all had experiences at work where someone will sell you out to save their skin. So in projects, 9-to-5 related, creative or otherwise, I'm going to be critical from rip. And ain't nothing gonna change that. Generally, I tend to look towards the future after I speak my piece on whatever subject that the next 40 covers. I think this go round, it's pretty much covered. The way I explain everything, I think pretty much holds up. And it's true. For myself, I'll give myself more space. For my romantic partner, I'll approach it with a little more subtlety. But I do need to be heard and I do need to feel seen. And for any project partners or creative partners, like it's just what it is. I'm going to protect myself and my investment. So I'm going to be critical and judge you up front. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm even good or I have a level set moral compass about this thing. What I am saying is like, this is how I operate and this is what I do. So if you have something to say or some thoughts, like not in a challenging way either, just leave a comment, write a review, let me know. You can let me know by reaching out to me at jdelnegro@gmail.com. You can find me on all the socials. And by all the socials, I mean Twitter, Instagram, Del Negro J, J Del Negro, or leave a comment, write a review on YouTube. I am looking for some engagement and I appreciate you following me thus far. It's the end of the episode, so I'm going to say what I always say. Welcome to the next 40.